Oh, okay. Hello, everybody who's there. New tip. That one. So we're live on Insta. Trying out something new today. Whilst also being live on Facebook. So double whammy. Check me getting all technical. Hi. Welcome, whoever is there. Is there anything on here? I can't see who's joining me. Current viewers. View insights. There we go. Is that going to help? No. So hello, whoever's there. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Not sure if anybody's on Insta. I know that I've got some followers on Insta, which it's building actually. My Instagram's building slowly, but we'll get there. So we just thought we'd try out for a couple of people who I know are on Insta that follow me that aren't on Facebook. So giving other people a chance to see. There you see, it tells me comments. I need to view insights. Who's there? Oh no. Apologies. I'll crack on in just a sec. Let's just insights. It tells me insights, but it doesn't tell me any comments if anybody's made any comments, which is amazing. Thank you if you have. Hopefully I'll catch up. That's why it was a good idea to have it on my phone last time, because I could see what people were saying. Anyway, nonetheless, here we go. Okay, so engaging reluctant readers. Problem that over the years of teaching and working with children and families that I did, I still do. Lots of parents would really struggle. We do ourselves. So it's one of those things, isn't it? It's an ongoing struggle for a lot of families. And I completely understand and will say I know that a lot of parents get frustrated and it can be really stressful. And I have had many conversations over the years with parents who have got quite worked up and get themselves quite upset because they don't feel their children are reading enough. Now, this all goes back to, doesn't it, the pressure that we're under at school and that teachers are under. Hello, good morning, everybody that's joining all afternoon, whichever one it is, I'm not really sure. It's kind of morning because the kids are only just getting up here. I've been up a while. So hello, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you can pick up some tips and hints today to take away and try. And just started to say how stressful and pressured we feel as parents to get our children to read, because you do hear from school an awful lot, and again, I've been there doing it myself, telling parents, you must get your children to read, every day, you've got to do their spellings, do some counting stuff or whatever, extra homework that might be sent. So it's a really, really difficult job that you guys have got, and me, that's, I'm a parent too, myself and Mr. B. So constantly trying to keep that interest, isn't it, and keep them engaged essentially in what you want them to do, especially when you feel that pressure from school that they've got to keep it up. And obviously we all know reading is important. Reading is amazing because it gives us new knowledge and we learn new vocabulary, we can find things out. It opens a whole new world to us when we are children to grown-ups. So it's amazing. Now, let's start. So, quick little story. Something from a couple of years ago. Apologies anybody who's commenting. I can't see. Oh, here we go. Hi Kate and Savannah. Hello Savannah. I've just seen comments popping up, Kate, so that's fab, thank you. And anybody else that's with us, fantastic. So let's make a start then. So small story. About 5 years ago. So our girls were sort of at that age where, we've done all that, we've learnt to read, they've done all their phonics, they've learnt to read at school, we've gone through Key Stage 1, getting a bit older now, they're getting a little bit more independent, finding their feet, they've got a voice, when they can start and tell you. Sorry Denise, hi. Grandparents as well, absolutely. I should have said that. We've got grandparents that look after our girls and also have spent many times listening to them read. Denise, do you get the reading record for school and do you write in there? Because we often used to get our Nanny and Nana used to sign in the books. I think Grandad's may have done it once, but certainly Nanny and Nana used to write in there. And good morning to Nanny and Nana if they are on this morning. And it's such a lovely thing, isn't it, for grandparents to listen to their grandchildren read and help them to learn to read. So back to it. We are going back a few years ago, so our girls are sort of probably about 7 and 9, something, maybe 6 and 8. Not massively keen on reading, you know, independently anymore, and it's something that we have always done, so we'll go back to where we start. But one of the key things to help encourage your children or grandchildren or stepchildren or, you know, whoever, your foster children, adopted children, whoever, encouraging them to read is by modelled behaviour. Okay, and that comes from us as the grown-ups, doesn't it? The ones who are responsible, or even older siblings. So model behaviour. So when we were on holiday in Spain this one year, we took some books, as we do. You know, it's always a great thing to pack into a bag, isn't it? Now, I'm not a massive reader at home, you see, and this is where we all fell, because that holiday, I love reading on holiday. There's nothing better to me than just to sit and chill in the lovely sunshine by the pool, by the beach, just wherever, and read. And I can take 2 or 3 books on holiday with me and get through them, no problem. And my husband is the same. Now, that holiday, our girls, like that, picked up reading books again. And I can remember the first time I saw it was we walked into their bedroom that they were staying in the afternoon. We'd all been at, you know, had a lovely time at the pool and whatever in the morning, get in from the sunshine, let's have some lunch and chill. They were both sat on the beds reading, avidly reading. And I said to my hubby, that's because they've seen us reading. And it really is that model behaviour. Does that make sense to everybody, hopefully? So it's a desperate thing that I'm trying to kind of say, right, a New Year's resolution almost to myself. So Santa bought me this fantastic book, Ant and Dec. I love Ant and Dec. Heroes of mine growing up, watching them on TV. They're fantastic, aren't they? What a really good couple of guys. So I'm part way through my book at the moment. I'm hoping that that's going to work with our girls, particularly Molly, our oldest, because she really is adamant that she doesn't like reading. So that's that, first of all, model to them reading, not just books. Okay, so that's the other thing I want to say. It doesn't have to just be books. Find something they're interested in, and, you know, spend time looking at the internet, do some Googling, get them to sit with you and do it. And it's that engagement as well, isn't it? So engaging them together, not just putting the pressure on them going, okay, you've got to go and sit and read your school book, or get your book out and sit and read to me. If they can read many other things, pick up anything to read it, then they can read. And as a teacher, I always used to say to parents and grandparents and carers, as long as they've read something, mark it in their reading diary. Now, different schools have different rules and whatnot, so that then comes down to, you know, sort of what information is fed back to you for your children or grandchildren. So that's down to school. If I take it right back to babies, so if Kate's still on, Kate, I know her girls love books. They've got a lovely book, like a bookcase that she keeps books in, obviously toddler proof at the moment. That said, even if you've got toddler proof books, so you know the board books, I've not got any. You see, my girls are way too old. I have got some other books to share with you. Board books, you know, pictures, shapes, words, sounds, you know, the ones that you press the buttons on and the sound appears. Fantastic for engaging them from a really young age as well. So what I would say is have books around. Books were about, for us, when our girls were little, from babies and toddlers, as much as anything else, that they had their toys. You know, we always had book box and a toy box, and I can remember going back now to when they were really little, and we'd have toys and everything out, puzzles, whatever, and then we kind of get to, like, let's say at lunchtime, we'd have a tidy up, and then we'd get to later in the day and we'd have to tidy up, and I'd encourage them to tidy up with me. That's another session, how to get children to tidy up. We could spend all day, and we'd have a little tidy, and the girls would gather the books up as well, and we'd put them away in the book box, but that book box would always be available to them to get whenever they want. And we would find that occasionally we'd sit, perhaps after dinner of an evening, we'd have, you know, a bit of TV on, we'd have a bit of chatter, and the girls would potter around and they'd grab a book from their box and they come and sit on our lap. We sit on the floor, you know, sit where they want as well, go and sit on the bed with them, wherever they're comfortable. So board books from when they're little, have them around, and it doesn't just have to be books. So when they are toddlers, you know, and they're starting to be aware of words and letters, puzzles, you know, those big chunky puzzles with the alphabet on. We used to have a big floor one of those. Puzzles with animal pictures on, with the words for the names of the animals. Fantastic. It's just making them aware of words all around them, isn't it, and letters and sounds. Then, you know, we start to progress as they're sort of getting towards preschool and nursery age into their phonics. So obviously that's a different engagement there, and we're making them aware of sounds. If you follow my channel, then obviously there's videos there for phonics to help, so look at those. And again, just from that age, engaging. Another key for us, and again, I've got friends who've got little ones, bedtime, stories at bedtime. Now, you see, we get to business. That said, let's have, what have we got? So I've got a little collection here of The Jolly Postman. Fantastic, and I'll tell you exactly why if you don't know that book. Molly's Jolly Brolly. Again, I'll tell you why. Harry McClary, Room on the Broom, Emma's Lamb. Okay, so, you know, pick those storybooks. What we always used to have when our girls were little, alongside the box of books that they could just choose and have themselves. Children have to learn how to treat books. Now, I've always been a massive believer that books have to be respected. You know, books are precious, books are amazing, books are fantastic, books teach us so much, but they are precious, so we have to look after them. And your children will only learn to look after books if they see you using them carefully. So we would always have books like this with paper pages, not just board books around, and we would sit with the girls and, you know, we'd talk about, say, turn the page carefully. Oh, careful, be careful, look at the word, you know, spend time looking at the pictures, because as well, it's not just about the words. Some books have a lot more words on pages than others, but when they're young as well and you're trying to get in that engagement, and even as they get older, take time to look at the pictures, leading on to talking about conversations with stories as well, you know, and that's why picture books are fantastic. Now, here's another one that might resonate with some people. Many times over the years, I have had parents come to me to say, Joe's got this reading book, but there are no words in it, and, you know, he's a really good reader. And parents can get, believe me, can get quite funny about reading books, because it's a bit of a competition with some parents, isn't it? And a lot of schools I know that have sort of said that to me in the past. So it's making that awareness of books don't have to have words in. Books can just be pictures. You know, if I go back to Ant and Dec, Once Upon a Time, oh my God, I love looking at the pictures. You know, I'm a 43-year-old woman, and there are loads of pictures in here which are quite hilarious. But just look at those pictures, and you can just imagine, you know, what Ant and Dec were up to at that time. What a great way to engage a reader. Look at the use of picture there. Yes, there are some words, but look at that picture. I can see them in the jungle. I know what's coming. This chapter's going to be good. How fantastic are pictures? Pictures tell 1,000 words, don't they? So use picture books, talk about it, make up stories. That's another fantastic thing, make up stories. And if you can get all this going on when they are at a young age, then you've got every chance of them becoming, you know, avid readers. Something went wrong somewhere for us. No, in all fairness, it's kind of one of those things, I think, isn't it? As children get older, they find their own things. And you know what? She might not sit reading books avidly, but she's got the phone, you know, as a lot of teenagers have these days, and she reads online. She reads, often reads the news online, because she'll come and question me about some Apple News or something, and she'll say, oh, I've read this, what's this all about, you know, have you seen it? And we'll talk about it. So I know she's reading. It's just that she's not into sitting reading books. Another thing that, again, for, you know, for Molly, our older daughter, and for younger children, so here's something else that I used to do in the classroom, magazines. So tried to start and get Molly into magazines now, but it's a bit difficult, because here's another thing I found just recently, that when I was a teen and I was in my younger years, I'm sure a lot of you remember the good old Just 17, Smash Hits, Looking, what's Jackie, you know, magazines have always been there, haven't they? I have to say, and if somebody knows of anything, please let me know, there doesn't appear to be much, in fact I haven't found anything that's like that anymore. There's nothing that I can find for teenage girls. You've either got your celebrity goss, which she probably sees enough of on, you know, social media and stuff, although she's not massively into that. And really, I don't want her exposed to it, because some of the things that some of these celebs supposedly get up to, probably not the kind of thing I wanted to see and sort of think as, you know, something or someone to look up to. Some of it is, you know, don't get me wrong, it's we all like a bit of goss, don't we? That's good. But there's nothing out there for teen girls, so let me know if you find anything, or probably teen boys as well. Obviously, it's not something I look for, but if anybody knows of anything that's magazines that are available to buy, because she does like, you know, there's nothing better, is there, than holding something and reading. She does like that. Let me know, drop me a message, comment. But going back to my classroom, so, you know, we've done a bit of the toddler-esque thing where we've got board books, encouraging to look and learn, looking at pictures, telling stories together with you. We always used to do a bit of role play as well. We'd often make a puppet theatre out of a big box, and, you know, it's telling a story that way, so it doesn't have to be the reading. And I can remember us making wooden spoon puppets of the three little pigs, the three bears, Red Riding Hood, and we'd tell traditional rhymes. That said, another amazing way. Oh, huge. I used to be an Usborne representative, so we've got a huge book of Usborne picture books. Kate might be with the girls if you've not got lots of traditional tales in there. So that was a really good collection, and we used to love getting those out. And as the girls got a bit older, they would read those themselves. So that's fantastic. But traditional tales, amazing. Hi to anybody else that I might have missed, I do apologise. So yes, we've come through nursery, we've done reception, we're starting to learn sounds, phonics, you know, follow the phonics videos that are on YouTube, take a look at those and engaging children with your phonics sounds. But then I spent a few years in Year 1 before I left the profession, and in my Year 1 classroom, if Mrs Walsh or Mrs Smale or Mrs Sorby, Mrs Cranage, Mrs Mason see this video, they will tell you that we had the reading corner in the classroom with our book box, and in our reading corner we would have a tray. I've mentioned these on another video, I need to get some. We just have a tray or a basket, and in that tray or basket we would have plastic sunglass frames. Pop out the lenses, we bought them off, you know, eBay or Amazon or some selling site, pack of a dozen or something. We pop out the lenses, and we just have a basket of sort of a dozen pairs of these sunglass frames. My life, you wouldn't believe how engaged the children were with them. So we'd tell them when they were reading, you need your reading glasses. So they'd just go and get this plastic pair of sunglass frames, they put their reading glasses on, and they would sit for ages with books from the book box. And it got to a point where very often, when we had guided reading sessions during the afternoons or in the mornings sometimes, we would have, the children asked if we could have the basket of reading glasses on the tab. So if there was an activity whereby they had got to read something, or we'd have like phonics games going on around the classroom, they would want to wear the reading glasses. So that was a really, really simple just trick, a way of getting them to engage and want to read. So that was always good. I have my handy helper, my helping hand, sorry. Now that's from teacher point of view, but you know, you can make something like this. It's literally just a little hand that I printed off the internet and I've stuck it on a ruler. It doesn't have to be a 30 centimetre ruler, it could be a small one, but something like this, you know, a pointing stick. That also, it's just a little aid to get them to follow the words, you know, use that. And then you could go around the house pointing out things, pointing out words and stuff, just making it a little game. Okay, right, what I'm doing, I've just got my little list here, let's check. Engaging things that they like. So yeah, also in my Year 1 class we'd have comics. So I talked about magazines obviously for teen girls, but comics, and I would very often put a plea out on the school newsletter. Any parents of children that I've taught would know this, that I used to put a plea out perhaps once a term to ask for any used magazines and comics to send them in to us, because we'd have those in a box in the book box corner as well. Children didn't have to pick up a book to read if they wanted to pick up, you know, a CBeebies magazine or whatever, pick it up, and again, lots of pictures and images in there, but it's engaging them in something. And there are going to be words in a comic or a magazine, aren't there? So that was fantastic as well. So, you know, there might be a little bit, like we think, not good value for money these days. I think, you know, you get some that are sort of £3, £4, £5 and you think it's just a bit of paper, but actually, can you put a price on the engagement of your child or grandchild doing that? You know, it's a fantastic thing to keep and just have it lying around. They can pick it up whenever they want. puzzles that are in there as well. You know, not only are they reading words in there, but they've got to think about their own words, and they're writing, so they're reading their own writing. It's just trying to sort of cross-reference everything, isn't it? Another thing that I would used to have in my classroom, and we have had at home as well as the girls have got a little older, is the junior newspapers that are available. And there's lots of subscriptions and things online and stuff I've seen, the National Geographic and stuff like that. Supermarkets, you know, we all go there. First News. It's not always readily available, I've found, in a lot of supermarkets, but First News is a junior newspaper. And that's fabulous, you know, because not all children are into stories either, are they? Some of them are into the non-fiction stuff, and they like to read fact. So going off onto that point as well, something else that we've always had a lot of are the Guinness World Records. Fantastic. Loads of facts and things to read in there. You haven't got to sit and read page for page for page. You can literally just open the Guinness World Records, can't you? I should have had one with me. Ripley's Believe It or Not, there's another one. Again, they're available in the supermarkets. We can get them on the shopping sites, can't we, etc. Your picture books. Think about making it fun as well, especially when they're younger, even sometimes when they're a bit older. So our youngest, although she's 11, she still likes to make a den. So make a cosy den, you know, get the blanket over the chairs and table, make their bedroom, you know, really cosy. We've, at the minute, our little one's got a comfy corner or cosy corner. She's got a beanbag and all her teddies. She has the lamp on of an evening, makes it really cosy. She's got a lava lamp and she loves to sit there and read. So that's quite a nice thing to do as well. Obviously library, you know, it's difficult at the minute with everything going on and the lockdown again, but obviously the library is free. I know a lot of local libraries are doing online ordering, so you can literally do your click and collect if they're still open. And Amazon, I know obviously Kindle books and other sort of online library stuff that's available. That's what I know too at the moment. But your Kindle books as well, because it doesn't have to be. Yes, I love fantastic, you know, picking up a book and reading it, but if it is that your children are only interested in what's on screen, there is no reason why they cannot access books or magazines or read the news online. A lot of schools now have book subscriptions online. I know before I left teaching we had a thing called Book Club, so the children would have reading books set for phonics on Book Club, and then throughout school into Key Stage 2 they would extend to independent readers and they could access those online. So there's so many different sort of things to explore. Reading games, you know, we're not always aware, but if we're playing games, you know, there's lots of words on board games, isn't there, and things that you have to read very often. So, you know, even if it's something like move forward 3 spaces, miss a turn, it's reading. Doesn't matter what it is, does it? And then, again, as our girls have got older, we find that we do love, when we're not feeling too competitive, I have to say, family trivia games. So we've got Family Trivial Pursuit, we've got Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, various other quiz type games we've got. They're not really aware, but if they're picking out a question card, what have they got to do? They've got to read it. So it's all that exposure, isn't it? So if you're playing regular games as well as a family, they're exposing themselves there to words, aren't they, and reading. And again, new vocabulary, especially if it's a trivia game, because then the chances are as well they've incorporated some learning and learning something new, aren't they? In fact, excuse me while I take a sip. We always have board games for Christmas, as I'm sure most families do. I mentioned the word learning to Molly one evening, and she said, no, bear in mind that she's home educated as well, not just during homeschool lockdown. She's home educated and has been since December. And I mentioned playing a new trivia game that we'd had. It's iTrivia, I think it's called. So it's all to do with looking at stuff and things. And I said, come on, you never know, you might learn something new. Well, why is it always about learning? Why do I have to learn something? I thought I mentioned the wrong word there. But it is, isn't it? You know, it's that subtlety, it's getting it in, isn't it? And letting them try something new, but they're not aware that that learning is going on all the time. So again, like I say, new vocabulary, especially if you're playing games, and it doesn't matter whether it's a game for little ones or a game for older ones, chances are they might come across some new words, and then that opens up new conversations, doesn't it? So games. You know, we're on screen here, folks, aren't we? Let's make use of the amazing power of the internet that it is, and play online quizzes. On my channel, there's a couple of quizzes. That we did a Halloween quiz and a Christmas quiz. So, of course, your child has got to read the question in order to answer. So quizzes are amazing, and there are so many quizzes available online, you know, as well. Websites like you see BBC, Blue Peter often runs stuff. Blue Peter's site is amazing for the kids. Newsround as well. Get them interested in Newsround because they can watch the clips, but then they can read the stories after. Fantastic. Used to use Newsround in the classroom an awful lot. So it's just that awareness of so much stuff, isn't it? What I'll try and do when I end the video today is I will find a few things on screen and I'll drop them in the comments below the video rather than keep putting posts, I think, on the page, if that would be helpful to people. Obviously, I've mentioned there's some videos on my channel that you can go and have a look at. The phonics ones for children who are learning sounds, and even for parents who want to learn sounds, because that's a massive thing as well. I think I mentioned before in my phonics live video that we did a few weeks ago. You guys as parents and grandparents, not forgetting Denise, and any, you know, all the carers that are out there. Massive barrier almost, and it's such a shame that when children start school and they start to learn letter sounds and how to blend and read words, that parents and carers and grandparents don't know how to help them because they don't know the sounds themselves. So please, if you haven't, take time to go and have a look at my phonics videos. I cover phase 2, 3 and 5. Phase 4 is a bit of an obscure one because that's sort of using different consonants that they've learnt already, so there's not a specific phase 4 set of sounds to learn, but have a look at them and learn the sounds yourself in order to help and support when your child or children start nursery and school. There's also a video that talks about phonics, so that mentions a bit of reading in there as well and how we can help. So that's another. So I've got a long list of things that I'm working on. Tomorrow is going to be a recording day, so one of the things I'm hoping to do tomorrow is a video showing how to help your child or children or grandchildren start to learn to read, because I've had a look through the content we've got and that's something that's not on there, and I've been asked about reading quite a bit, so that's something that I will be doing tomorrow. Okay, before we finish then, I'm going to show you just a few books and give you the reasons as to why I've chosen these ones particularly to share with you today. Okay, and hopefully you'll take something from this as another way of engaging them in stories and reading with them. So obviously we have my book that I'm reading at the moment. If the girls see me reading that, might encourage them. And actually now they're a bit older, if I find the content suitable, you know, Molly might go, do you know what, I'm really interested in that. And I find that she's actually quite interested in autobiographies. She's read like Ariana Grande and a couple of, you know, teen girls kind of things. But if that's something that she wants to read, then let her, you know, why not? Okay, so we've also got let me come back to The Jolly Postman. Okay, this was always a fantastic book by Janet and Alan Arberg, fantastically well-known authors who've been around a long time. If you haven't got The Jolly Postman, Kate, one for you as the girls get older, I tell you. This is one of my, I do apologise if anybody's on Insta. It's that Kate I was chatting to last night. Hi Kate, if you're there. It's backwards, I've just noticed, because it's front-facing camera. Facebook, we're all right. The Jolly Postman and Other People's Letters. Now, this is one of my favourite books because, if you don't know this story, it follows a postman's journey through the village, and you'll see from the front cover, in fact, I do apologise. Let's do a lesson. So, before we even look at the story, we'll talk about the cover. Okay, so you're talking, and this happens in lessons. My youngest, who is in year 6, so her last year of primary school, an English lesson that she had, not one of the remote ones this week, but one before Christmas, I think. The first lesson that they had on their new book that they were doing for guided reading, and if Mrs. Edwards is about, she will know this. Well, obviously she will because she ran the lesson. They spent, hi Kate, oh fabulous, you got this, I love it, love it, love it, love it. They spent the first lesson talking about the cover, making predictions for the story. So that's another fantastic way of engaging your children. Let's make predictions about the story. Obviously Kate on Insta, no good if they know the story and they're familiar, but if you're buying new books and new stories, let's have a look. Let's get one out of here. Oh gosh, it's such a heavy What's that? What am I going to pick? Oh, The Three Little Pigs. So for Three Little Pigs is a story you've not read before, have a look. Well, what characters are we going to find in this story? You could even cover the words. I've done that before. I've covered the title and just look at the picture. The blurb and the back cover are also amazing, because to get that language and communication just from looking at pictures, and depicting what we think we can see, what do we think it's going to be about, what are those characters feeling, what do you think they're going to get up to, are they mischievous? Anybody who tuned into the radio show on Thursday will know that Daz Hale missed that spelling of mischievous. So what are they wearing? What clothes are they wearing? What colours can you see? Where do you think they're going? Where are they? Who do you think they're going to see on their way? Are they going to see anybody? Do you think they're going to go to the cafe? Are they going to buy some cakes? What are they doing? You know, so much language that we can get out of just looking. Picture books, fantastic. So back to the Jolly Postman. Now let's just flick through. So here we go. So we would read obviously the words, look at the pictures, blah blah. This is just amazing, because each one of the pages is like an envelope, and in each envelope, I don't know how well you can see, find letters. OMG. So we get the letter out, and that's more reading. How amazing that we've got a letter from Goldilocks to the three bears. Isn't that fantastic? They're obviously friends now, aren't they? You'll have to read it and find out. But that's it, you know, the magic of that. The children then are reading this letter from Goldilocks. Oh, that is amazing, isn't it? Fantastic. Perhaps you could talk about what the reply would be. If you were the three bears, because we know the three bears story, what would you reply to Goldilocks? You know, and then you've got some writing. Let's get some writing going. So Kate was chatting to you last night, little things like that, incorporating those sort of ideas, extending sort of something that you've done and bringing the learning that school are asking of your children, but then incorporating it into something that's familiar and something that you know. So then obviously we go through. I'm not going to show you the whole book because we could be in all day. My love for books is amazing. That's the other thing, isn't it? Your passion. If you've got a passion for books and stories, then your children would have. And I mean, gosh, when my girls were younger, you know, teacher head was always on. I used to love doing the silly voices. So what an amazing thing. Look, posters and leaflets. You know, when you have stuff come through the door, get your kids to pick them up and say, oh, can you, I'm really tired today, I've got a bit of a headache and I can't read though, it's hurting my head. Can you read it to me? Can you tell me what it's all about? Is it something that we need to know about, you know? So that's why we love the Jolly Postman, because it's got all those extra things in there to look at and read. Another one, and this is fantastic as well, this sort of story and picture books, not so much picture books, sorry, but yeah, picture books for when, you know, your little ones are small. Rhyme is something that comes in the very early years. So when children can hear rhyme and understand and use rhyme themselves, that's a really early language and reading skill. So stories like Hare and McClary by Lily Dodd are rhyming stories. So rhyming stories are fantastic because they're fun as well, you know. Let's just pick a page. I don't think copyright purposes, I'm not reading whole things. She pulled it so hard that she plucked out a hair, and Hare and McClary jumped high in the air. And it is talking about being in the vets. Okay, so that's there. So that's the rhyming. Let's pick another page. Then Custard the Labrador, Muffy McClay and Noodle the Poodle decided to play. They skidded and scampered, they slid all around, and bottles and boxes came tumbling down. And looking at those pictures and going, oh my gosh, look at the mess, look at the chaos that's going on, what's happening, who can you see? You know, putting that enthusiasm in as well. And again, going back to when children are little and first starting to read, the more emphasis you can put on your voice and use that, what's the word I'm looking for? It's gone, my mind's gone blank. You know, when you're changing your voice, you know, the enthusiasm, you go, I can't think, the words have gone. That's really going to frustrate me now. If anybody knows the word I'm looking for, tell me. We've got, oh God, I've lost myself, there I am. They can hear that in your voice and they will pick up on that. So it's that model behaviour again. And when, again, going back to when our girls were little, it was always an absolute pleasure to listen to Molly read. I remember when she was in reception in year 1 and she first started reading expression. That's the word. There we go. Thank you, anybody that's just popped that on as well. The expression. Oh, Mrs. B's on. I've only just seen that. Oh, Mrs. B, bless you. I forgot to scroll down. Hi says, yeah, the expression. Children pick up on it, you know. Don't just rely on the teachers in the classroom or storytellers on screen that you watch. You know, some amazing storytellers on YouTube. I've got one of my friends, one of the school mum friends of mine, she's an author. She's got some amazing books. Again, I'll pop a link to her page on. And she's recently started up a YouTube channel. She very often does links with other companies, and she does some reading online. So that's fantastic. Model it, model it, model it. Get your children to pick up on your voices. So there we go. So we've got picture books and board books, traditional tales we've talked about, grown-ups reading to model to the children, rhyming stories, books that have got extra little bits and secret compartments and stuff to look at to engage them. Now, favourite authors. Okay, so Julia Donaldson, what an amazing modern day author, and has such an amazing collection of books. Now, we've got a lot from when our girls were younger. I know she's brought out a lot more since, and it's one of those things, one day I keep thinking, I will just buy them, you know, keep them for my grandchildren and when the girls are older. But we've got lots of her books, and again, lots of rhyming stories that she produces. Kate, if you're still on, I bought my friend Kate's twin girls Foxy Socks and Rabbit Snap for Christmas. Little pop-ups inside board books, so the girls can look at them and use them now. And our 2 girls had those and they loved those when they were little. So there you go. Yeah, amazing authors. Find an author that your child likes and stick with it. You know, get the collection of their books, because there's nothing better. We've got the Roald Dahl collection. We've got all the Little Miss and Mr. Men storybook boxes. We've got the, you know, the collections. Fantastic. Beatrix Potter. You know, all those. We had the lovely Disney collection books when Molly was little. But what's amazing about someone like Julia Donaldson is the artwork as well. She doesn't produce, Alex Scheffler is her author, but it's just, the pictures are fantastic. You know, what you've got with Julia Donaldson as well, of course, are the feature films, the mini films that are produced with her stories. So that goes alongside, doesn't it, as well? And that's another key thing to engage them. Find an amazing story or, you know, collection of books that they like. Our girls have just got into the Hunger Games thanks to their cousin Emily, and so they've watched the films, but we've also got the books as well. So, you know, there's no reason to say why they shouldn't watch a film as well as have the book. It's finding that niche, isn't it? Finding the interest. Just looking, Kate. Oh, brilliant. You've got that as well. Fantastic. So, the last 2 I've got today, reasons for these. Now, this is something else that a lot of you might already have. If you haven't, have a look online for something like, you've probably heard me mention My Girls. What do we notice? It's not turned into a lesson, I promise. Okay, so we've got Emma's Lamb and we've got Molly's Jolly Brolly. Just trying to think back, actually, if we bought these or if somebody bought them for them. But, wow, what another fantastic way of engaging them into reading and listening to stories by having a book about them. And they're not massively like My Girls, but they did used to say when they were little, oh, that really looks like me, doesn't it? Another book we have got is Peppa Pig, which is a personalised story, and I know there are lots available online, so having a look for personalised stories that are available to order, where you can add your child's photograph or like their face becomes part of one of the characters. That the tales, we've got a tale that talks about, this was from Auntie Jane when Molly was little. I can't remember the name of the story. I wonder if Auntie Jane would know. It's upstairs, it's in the box upstairs, that she goes on an adventure and her cousins are in the story as well, so that's fantastic. So it just gets them engaged, doesn't it? It doesn't. These don't tell a story of anything about us or our girls. They literally are just books with their names in the title. But we do have this one, the Peppa Pig one, which is about Molly, I think, and then the Teddy's Adventure one. this Molly's Jolly Brolly is fantastic because it's a rhyming story as well. That's by Erica Jane Waters, and Emma's Lamb is by Kim Lewis, and that's a lovely story about a lamb that gets lost, loses his mummy, and Emma takes the lamb under her wing, and that's just got lovely illustrations as well. You know, a lot of to do with keeping children engaged in stories. Those beautiful illustrations, isn't it? Books are amazing, but always look at the blurbs as well on books, because that tells you, you know, a bit about those stories, doesn't it, already? And there we have it, folks. Gosh, 40 minutes. Wow, that's fantastic. I am going to have to go because I have got the press arriving soon. We've got our local newspaper coming to take a photograph this afternoon, so feature my channel in the newspaper. Thank you, anybody that's been listening, anybody that's on that heard the radio show this week. So I had a short interview on our local BBC WM radio earlier this week. To talk about Mrs B and the channel Smile and Learn, so that was amazing. Keep sharing, everybody, please let anybody know that you think would find use of any content that's on my channel, any of the lives that I do. Please let people know. Help us to grow, help us to reach as many people as we can, especially in these unprecedented times, you know, and it's continuing for quite some time now, isn't it? I know schools are amazing at the minute, and I put a post out on Facebook last night to a lot of my teacher friends, absolutely taking my hat off to them all at the minute. I'm so glad that I stepped away from teaching when I did, because to be in school now, I cannot imagine the stress and pressure everybody's under, and what a fantastic job they are doing. So they all need to keep themselves safe. They need to keep our children safe. If children are going, our girls are at home, so that's that. But we're loving the remote stuff that's going on from our school. It's been fantastic, and Emma's been really settled, which obviously helps me because I'm working full time here. And what was that was going to lead me to say, one last thing was, we did put out a video in the week about feelings and emotions. If anybody's seen, we're in the process of making up some more emoji cards. If anybody wants to watch that and use the emoji cards, please let us know. But get talking to your children as well. You know, what better way to escape from all of this as well with a story? Read the stories, listen to audio stories. We've got an amazing collection of Roald Dahl CDs that we used to use. We used to have the Gruffalo on CD, but you know, the internet is at the tip of our fingers, isn't it? So get online. I would really love to read some stories on my channel, or do some live. So if anybody, I know I need to speak to Tamsin because I'd love to set something up with her. If anybody is an author or knows an author or has a contact of a way of me finding out some stories that I could read without breaching any copyright laws, I would love nothing more than to do story time. So please let me know, drop comments. I would love to do that. But yeah, talk to your children. Use, you know, my video about the feelings and emotions. Hi, Hal. Share the videos. You know, it's all free. I'm doing it for nothing. You know, I'm not gaining anything from it other than just the amazing feeling it's given me to know that I'm supporting and helping as many people as I can. So carry on and share where you want to. Hi, Hal. Yeah. Please, yeah, so watch that video. Remember then, so we've got the phonics videos you can watch. There's some spelling games on there. I'm going to be recording a video to show how to help your child start to learn to read. You know, word building and stuff. I've got tricky word bingo that we're going to be recording at some point. We've got the emojis to help incorporate with the talking and all that language. You know, it doesn't just have to be about books, does it? Hell, I'm just going to show, I've been showing lots of amazing books, favourite authors, rhyming stories, personalised stories, traditional tales, modelled reading, lovely Ant and Deck. So I think there we have encompassed reading your life. Oh God, I don't know how to do all that. Oh my gosh, ooh, technical, it's too technical. Get her in. Go live with her. Oh, is she coming in? Has she gone? That's Insta up there for anybody that didn't know. I've got Insta on my phone up there, and then I've got you guys on Facebook here. Oh, she's coming in. Hello. Oh, so. Do you know what you're doing?
No, I'm I'm alive to everybody.
You're live on me. So I've got my Insta up on my phone there, and I've got Facebook here. I was thinking, has she got something that she wants to add?
No, I'm doing it.
Bless you, my lovely.
As well.
Just about to wrap up now, I think, because I've talked for like 45 minutes. My gosh, but that's how amazing reading is, isn't it? You know, Helen's a teacher, one of my best friends. She teaches in reception at the moment, and she's obviously working hard, getting all her online stuff done. Aren't you? We're like the wrong way around, aren't we? Let me turn you that way. I'll put it that way. See if that's a better look. So yeah.
Right, just mention this, but like just to the parents, just keep at it. It's just going, isn't it? And just keep at it. Something I did yesterday that I really, really liked is if you've got any Duplo bricks, or you might have mentioned it before, the toilet rolls, write the keyword on there, and then they can put them into a sentence. Yeah. The boys love it, don't they? Yeah, absolutely. And that goes with like my phonics Skittles game, I guess, doesn't it, as well? But like Helen's just said, I don't know if because I'm on laptop here, if anybody on Facebook didn't hear Helen, the phone's on the screen there. Let me just... Another video.
Yeah, I've been saying that I'm going to work on a reading video tomorrow to go alongside this now. So I might put one of those games. So Helen's just talking about doing keywords and tricky words on, on your Duplo bricks. If you use a whiteboard pen, it can wipe off. I used to have some, Helen, actually, in my classroom, just old mega blocks that we used to have, and I'd written on with Sharpies, and we had all the phonics sounds so they could word build and stuff. And it is, like Helen said as well, as a teacher at the minute, just keep going with it, I was saying earlier, Helen, not to feel pressured by going, you must read your reading book. It's not just about that, is it? It's learning all other reading, looking at words all around all the time, isn't it? Playing games, talking, get the language and the communication going. But yes, stick at it, folks. You're all amazing. You're doing a fantastic job of this homeschooling. Week 1 done, yes. And hope to do another live. It'll be another 2 weeks, so we'll have a think about what topic to do then. But thank you for joining me, everybody. Thanks. Bless you. Take care, everybody. And